Good afternoon, my name is Raymond. I'm here in London, UK. It's the 4th of September. Absolutely blows my mind. 2013 just seems to have come zipping past us, me, my family. And I'm coming to you today because tomorrow is a rather big day in this family, my family, and it's my littlest, my youngest birthday. She's turning 8. I mean, big 8. That's a big number, and for a little person, that's a lifetime. I'm knocking on the door on getting into bigger numbers. Don't need to tell you just yet because it's not my day. I'm not here to talk to you about me necessarily. However, in some way, shape, or form, kind of. You see, recently I've been in communication, conversations, discussions with people that I know who, love to travel. I grew up traveling. My father was a bit of a nomadic kind of professor, definitely an adventurous type, and pretty much by the age of 2, big old 2, we left the States. I was born in the States, and pretty much for the rest of my life, growing up until pretty much my late teens, kind of early 20s, I lived, to be honest, I ended up staying overseas with the odd visit here and there, up until almost my mid-20s. And then I went back to the States, went to university, and what was going to be 4 years, I ended up staying for 10, 12 years. I had a great time. It was really nice to be back in the States. I love the States. I love America. I don't want to get into discussion of what I think about how it's run and what necessarily things are going on in relation to the rest of the world. That's a whole other discussion. But to go back to this thing about birthdays, birthdays are turning points in lives. I mean, basically, there's a lot of discussions about, whether it's just a continuous journey, depending on one's beliefs, or it's the beginning of a singular kind of finite period of time. There are no souls. It's really, I'm not here to discuss, the spiritual element of life and all that kind of thing. Everybody, we all have our own beliefs, our own values, our own viewpoints, worldviews, and so forth. But I'm here to talk about experience. And life is an experience, no matter how you look at it. And I look at my daughter turning 8 and just how she kind of takes life by the scruff of the neck with vigor, with enthusiasm, and with joy. That childhood, that childlike innocence, that kind of, she's in no hurry to grow up. It's not that she doesn't want to grow up. She's just having such a blast what she's doing right now. And it's such a treat and a joy to be present in her life, to be able to connect with her, and so on a regular basis. I mean, I have friends of mine who dads and moms who are professional, who are working flat out, trying to, keep roof over the head, keep the family fed, provide holidays and opportunity and so forth and so on, who are really struggling. I mean, it doesn't mean they don't, a lot of them have money, but they're struggling so hard to keep that money flowing. I have the good fortune now to be my own boss. I'm able to work at home on my own time. And, to my father's credit, I mean, he was a teacher, a professor, so he was on the academic rotating kind of calendar, and so my holidays coincided with his holidays, and we traveled a lot. We backpacked, we planes, trains, automobiles, donkeys, camels, walking, riverboats, canoes, practically you name it, we've done it. And we've done things from going all over the world, particularly developing countries, the third world, having lived in Nigeria, Tanzania, Iran, Kenya, Turkey, Denmark, France, somewhere, there's another one in there, I can't remember, but basically having traveled over to 80 countries in my lifetime and circumnavigated the planet at least once. But when I was 8, I should say, because my dad and me, unfortunately my mom died when I was very, very young, so it's just the two of us, and I know that creates kind of a bit of an abnormal scenario as far as the average nuclear family, the average is anywhere from 1 to 2 kids, plus parents, so, 2 to 4 to 3, kids is kind of an average worldwide, if not more, depending on if you're in poor countries. I mean, many poor countries have many kids, because that's their social security. I mean, who's going to take care of them when they get old? They don't have the benefit of having a system that's going to pay out whatever little bit it may be, but at least something to take care of the elderly when they get older. Unfortunately, we don't take care of our elderly as well as I think we ought to, because the wisdom really needs to be cherished and nurtured. But my point here is more is to really, to get out there and open one's eyes, open one's mind and experiences and adventure. The adventure of life is not only coming out of the book. It's not only coming out of the classroom. It's not only coming out of now the computer. It's coming through experience. Because it's great to have all that information, but if you don't actually apply it into your life, what's the point? It's not, we are people. We're kind of active beings. I mean, we love to do things. I know I do. I love being really active. If it's not physically active, it's engaged in other ways of meeting people and connecting and traveling and seeing the world. And when I was 8, my dad and I basically, we'd finished living in Iran for about 3 years at that time, which had been in the early 70s, and it was a lot more open. Afghanistan wasn't all blown up by the Russians and the Americans now. You could do the Silk Road, or quote the hippie trail, all the way from London to Amsterdam on the magic bus or hitchhiking or whatever it could, all the way through Europe, over through the Iron Curtain, into Istanbul, Turkey, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, into India, and over up into Kathmandu. And everybody was kind of doing their thing, traveling and discovering themselves in the world, checking out, meeting their guru, whatever it was, but they were experiencing life to the full. And that was my upbringing. And I look at my daughter now, and it's almost with the same enthusiasm, vigor. She could have had the same experience, and she does have a similar experience right here at home. So it doesn't really matter where you are. It's a case of whether or not you're able to do it. And I see many a family wish and parents despondent that they're not able to and really, really wanting to, and challenged by the fact that not only do they want to, but they feel that they should and are, and their families deserve it, and they feel really broken down by the fact that they're not able to. And I find that really, really sad, because that is not how life really should be. Or I don't believe so anyway. I really believe that life is to be loved, lived and cherished and have a good experience. And yes, there are going to be challenges. I mean, that is life. To learn how to ride a bicycle and crash and burn a few times, or climb up into a treehouse and fall out and hurt yourself. I mean, scuffs and bruises and grazes. I mean, that's life. And these types of bruises and grazes take on different shapes as the older you get. But I don't think that the what's going on around us, particularly with what's happened with the recent banking fiasco, or with what the banksters did, I see that as fraudulent. I feel the fact that we've been left holding the bag. But that's not new. That's history will show us that has happened over time, and so on. And this isn't a history lesson, and this isn't basically a doom and gloom story. But the point is that we could just sit around and just bitch and moan and complain about it, or we could get off our asses and get out there and change it and make something of it. Now, it's easy to say, and I appreciate that. It's easy to, if you're in an area or in a country, in a place that you may have the good fortune to be watching this in an internet cafe or something in Africa or Asia or something. But even in the States and Europe, where times can be tough, and there are tough. People have lost homes, and families have broken down. Economies or jobs, locally, I say, have crumbled. I mean, I know not far from where I live, there's shops that have only recently started to be re-rented because they were boarded up when the recession hit. I have a whole other kind of viewpoint as to why that happened, but I don't want to get into that here, because again, this is a positive message, and the positive message is to really to empower ourselves. And there are ways to do it, and there are ways not to do it. And I have, I've been through the shitter. I've been through some tough times. I've had businesses. I've lost business. I've lost friends, or so-called friends. I've been through some tough times. I've changed careers. I've been forced to change careers, not out of choice. And to be able to be one's own master, or one's own king of one's domain, however small it may be, even if it's just ourselves, is to be in control of ourselves and be able to make the decisions and to follow through on those decisions and commit to that. If you have opportunities that are presented to you that are effectively, in the long term, extremely affordable, proven to be able to make things work, wouldn't you take them? I mean, if I were able to share something with you, or somebody were able to hand you an opportunity, or the wherewithal, or an experience of living the lifestyle and having the quality of life that you deserve, not necessarily entitled to per se, to use that word, but deserve. And entitlement is a funny one, because I think in one's, we deserve it, but it comes with the necessity of action and decisions and commitment and follow through and going for it, that going for itness. And my life never changed until I made the effort and made the actions to change it. Nothing ever happened for me until I got involved. And when I look at my daughter, who's a particular personality, I admit, she's very, very dynamic. And my other kids are also so very dynamic, and they're going for it. And there is a possibility that, you know, a lot of what they're able to do is because of the values that mom and dad instill in them. But there's that whole argument of nature and nurture. And I'm not here to own my kids. You know, my father kind of passed that on to me, is that he never owned me. I was never his kid, and you know, they're not my children. I'm just here to guide them through. That's kind of how I look at it. Love them as much as I possibly can, which is endless. You know, show them a way that hopefully will empower them and enhance their lives to the point of what will, you know, give them something, you know, a life to want to live. It's challenging, as we know. Life isn't always easy. However, without those challenges, we do not become the people that we ought to be. And so tomorrow, my daughter, turning 8, whom, as far as she's concerned, has already turned 8, is really about meeting her and meeting her dreams and goals and dreams and aspirations. And so the message here from you is for you to do the same, and not just on your birthday, but every day. So make every day your birthday, and just the birthday is even more special. But really seize the opportunity as best you can. You know, throw stuff in that backpack and go on a walkabout. If not physically, literally, metaphorically speaking, where that you learn as much as you possibly can in the moment that you happen to have in front of you. The power of now, living in the moment. And on that note, I've got to run. The sun is shining here. I am in the UK. It's not always the case that the sun is shining here. I got to go, and I got to get my kids. Why? Because I can. Because I'm able to basically work for myself on my own terms, on my own time, where I want, when I want, and now I get to put that aside. It continues to go on autopilot, fortunately, the new technologies of the day, and I get to go hang out with my kids and just enjoy each other. So I hope you really get an opportunity to do the same, because you deserve it. I believe in you. I hope you believe in you. And, you know, feel free to message me, contact me in any way if you have any further questions or you want to talk about these things, because you know what? I mean, heck, write a book. Tell me about it. I'd love to hear stories about this. I love sharing stories. I love, you know, hearing what yours are all about. And I'll be happy to share a few of my own, because I have a few. I've got a rather big bag full. So if if it's not over coffee, if it's online, however way it comes through, feel free to connect, because I love to connect with people around the world. And on that, make it a great day. And I'm really happy to share with you. Take care of yourself now. And viva la viva. Bye.